Well, greetings, church family. Today's daily Bible reading had us in Proverbs chapter 2. And what we see here are the benefits of wisdom. Verses 1 through 6, Yahweh gives wisdom. The word wisdom, you'll notice, appears no less than 4 times in these first 10 verses. And notice the instruction from Solomon to his son to plea for wisdom as one searching for treasure, to look for it, to search for wisdom and beg God for that wisdom, because of course that wisdom comes from the Lord. Wisdom then yields further knowledge of God's greatness and goodness as revealed in His Word, as well as the fear of Yahweh. Proverbs 9:10, of course, you'll remember, states that the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. Here we see that wisdom helps us grow in our fear of Yahweh, so the two feed into each other. Notice also, as verse 6 states, that knowledge, understanding, and wisdom all come from Yahweh, specifically from His mouth, that is, His Word, which we have written down as the Bible. Remember, knowledge is the basic acquisition of facts. Understanding, this is insight, the grasping of knowledge beyond mere data collecting. And wisdom is the right application of knowledge. Right, of course, in the eyes of God. That's whose opinion matters. Verses 7 through 19, wisdom provides protection. Verses 7 through 11, first we see that positive protection in the form of spiritual guidance, and it's all using very positive language here. The integrity, uprightness, justice, preservation, discretion that such wisdom, which is of course predicated on knowledge and understanding of God's Word, has on the believer. And then verses 12 through 19, you get this second negatively expressed protection from other evildoers and the temptations they offer. More negative language is used here to describe that protection that wisdom gives. So those evil ways, the deception, the ways of darkness, the perversity of evil, the crooked paths, the adultery, wisdom protects the believer from these things, from those who are walking in these ways and threaten to tempt us in our flesh to walk in those ways as well. And of course, like all sin, these lead to nothing but death, eternal death for those who reject the Lord. Verses 20 through 22, wisdom results in righteousness. Notice how those who follow the Lord, who needed wisdom to walk in His ways and continue to need that wisdom, are described as good men, keeping to the paths of the righteous. They are upright and blameless, and there is great blessing in following the Lord. Of course, spiritual blessing now and physical blessing in the kingdom to come. So a couple principles that we can meditate on after this chapter of Proverbs. In a world that has gone absolutely crazy, loony with sin, may you and I value the obtaining of true biblical knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And so let us beg the Lord to cause us to grow in our fear of Him, that reverence of God, that trembling reverence of Him, recognizing just how great He is, that He is holy, that He is transcendent, that He is sovereign. And may our desires be transformed so that we value wisdom as a hidden treasure to be sought out and obtained as something precious to us. And then finally, God is omniscient. And this includes Him being all-knowing as well as being perfectly wise. And therefore, true biblical wisdom comes only from the Lord. In 1 Corinthians 1, 20 through 21, we see this written by Paul. Where is the wise man? Where is the scribe? Where is the debater of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? For since in the wisdom of God, the world through its wisdom did not come to know God, God was well pleased through the foolishness of the message preached to save those who believe. The question is, have you trusted in this message that is called foolish by the world, the gospel of Jesus Christ? Have you repented from sin and placed your faith in the person and work of Jesus Christ alone? If so, how do we respond to this chapter of Proverbs today? 3 ways that we can pray. Pray that God would grow your knowledge of Him as you study His Word, that you would grow in your knowledge of His attributes or perfections, characteristics, and His works as well, what He has done, what He is doing, what He will do, all outlined in detail in His Word. Pray that God would grow your knowledge of Him. Pray that God would give you understanding, insight to grow beyond the plain facts of His Word and grasp the underlying principles and details. And finally, pray that God would give you wisdom, discernment to apply His Word to your life in the manner that brings Him glory, so that you and I will, as verse 20 teaches, walk in the way of good men and keep to the paths of the righteous. This has been Proverbs chapter 2, and I hope you have a great day.